another one with a great title, Satanic Hispanics. I think, whether you're Hispanic or not, just that title just kind of grabs you, and kind of piques your curiosity at least a little bit here. So, does the title mean that it's good? Well, we'll find out here. But let's see what we're talking about here with IMDb plot here. When police break into a house in El Paso, they find it filled with dead Latinos, and a lone survivor known as the Traveler. He is taken to the police station for questioning. All right, that's the basics of it here. Before we get too far into this one is now on Shudder. I'm not going to say it's totally new because first of all, it says 2022 here on IMDb, but I know it's been seen by a certain audience. It's been in film festivals and so forth. So some audience has already seen this, but others haven't. Like myself, I'm happy to finally have gotten a chance to see this. So I'll kind of keep it spoiler free, even though I don't have any plans of going too specifically into anything here. I'll try to keep it spoiler free anyway, regardless. But it is on Shudder now if you are looking for a place to catch it. But it has been out and about in film festivals and so forth, and I'm guessing it'll be on DVD soon enough if it's not already. Yeah, no, it's probably not. It's probably coming soon, though. Anyway, getting into it, I guess the best way to kind of describe this right off the bat is just think the VHS series. Just it's an anthology movie, obviously tailored for not necessarily for Hispanics, but by Hispanic directors and writers and so forth. So obviously, they're looking for a Hispanic audience, but it could be for any audience. So that's kind of the direction we're going, and kind of the shorts of it are going. Legends and folklore and kind of stuff that might relate. Some of the stories kind of relate more to that, some of them don't. But it's kind of that way. So it's like VHS kind of style, especially in the opening when it kind of opens. This is the main story, the main wraparound story. You see police, military kind of guys breaking into a facility, and kind of funny seeing is, they see a person there, he's strapped to the chair, not really moving too much, and all of a sudden there's a gun kind of attached to his hand, and he kind of the hand kind of lifts, so the gun, as soon as the gun moves, of course the police start opening fire, and they unleash many bullet on this person. They probably already dead before that even happened. But then the hand kind of drops, and then all of a sudden the hand kind of goes up again, and then they fire again, and then it stops, and then the hand goes up and they fire again. It's like clearly this person is not doing it, and clearly this person is dead. But obviously, they kind of, I guess, want to poke fun at the fact that, all you have to do is kind of move your hand with a gun, and the police, are trigger happy, some of them at least. So, they kind of have fun with that at least to start. And, then they'll kind of figure out that, hey, this guy's dead, and, the arm is not moving because this guy is doing it. They kind of move to the back, and that's where they find this guy, the Traveler. And, as they kind of come in the room, he doesn't have a gun, but he has this kind of knife or butcher knife or so forth. And he's about to try to cut off his hand. And then from there, you see that it kind of, opens up, and you find him in the police station already, and two detectives come in to question him. One for sure will be a familiar face for some of you. And the questioning begins, and he's kind of odd, and makes it clear to them that, he doesn't want to be there, that he had nothing to do with all the dead bodies. They don't really show you the dead bodies, but, apparently there was a room full of them, and, they don't go into too much more of that. they maybe make some assumptions that, it was a smuggling operation might have gone bad, or drugs gone bad, kind of that kind of thing. But they want to kind of know, what his role and why he was the lone survivor and so forth. So you're going to kind of find out a little bit why he is the lone survivor. And it's not just, doesn't really have anything to do with why these people are killed or anything like that. And the audience is going to find out why he's called the Traveler. The detectives kind of are, but of course, they're not going to believe him. Us as the audience, we believe him, because why not? Anyway, he kind of, makes a point that, in about 90 minutes, he needs to be let go, which they're obviously not going to do. But, someone is going to come for him. And as this kind of rolls on, you find out a little bit more about this someone who's going to come get him. And you're going to find out a little bit more about him. But that is the wraparound story here. And basically, as he sits there, he's going to tell several other stories, which, all in turn short films, amongst this larger film here. I'm not going to go into each film and tell you what each one of them's about and who directed and all that. You can find that guy online or so forth. I know I put out a press release for Shudder for this, so if you want to know more specifics of the plots of the certain ones or so forth, you guys can look for that. Promote Horror, like I said, had the press release for that. I don't remember how specifically it was, but I don't want to go one by one, and that just becomes too crazy here. I just kind of, as it is even in the VHS series, you're going to have shorts that people like and shorts that people don't like, and it's just overall, does it work, all together. And, I'll just kind of say a few brief things about a couple of things, amongst the shorts. There's a good mixture. You're going to get some blood and guts. You're going to get some funniness. You're going to get some a little bit more serious kind of stuff. Probably, I haven't really thought about it too much, but probably my favorite was there's one about a vampire, and it's Halloween, and he's kind of taking advantage of that being a night where he can kind of go out and not be worried about people saying, hey, you're a vampire, and really thinking he's a vampire or creeping people out and so forth. He can kind of be himself. He doesn't have to hide amongst the people. He can kind of just go out as a vampire, and everybody thinks he's just in a costume. But he doesn't kind of realize that the daylight savings is kind of changed. So it is going to be daytime sooner than he thought. And so he has to try to make it back home, and then kind of goes on a little bit of an adventure as it goes. So this one, was had tons of blood and guts, which you guys know that I enjoyed. And also was pretty funny. It had some pretty funny moments in there. It didn't take itself too seriously, and kind of had fun with the vampire. It wasn't like, super serious vampireness. It had, a lot of funniness going on there too. And I enjoyed, it from beginning to end. It was pretty good, entertaining one. So if you're looking for maybe the comedy one of these shorts, that's probably the biggest one and one to go with. There was another one that was, I kind of credit them, for their kind of, special effects, makeup, whatever, however they pulled it off, which kind of was more of a nature-based and kind of maybe tilted a little bit more to, like I said at the beginning, one of the more ones that are tilted towards folklore and legend and so forth. And at the beginning of it didn't seem like it was going to go that way, but it then kind of tilted in that direction. I think a guy was kind of in witness protection, or he was going to go into witness protection, but then the people who were looking for him found him and kind of drag him off into the jungle. And then it becomes kind of very nature-oriented. I don't know if you saw one of the posters. There's a woman there, and, she's kind of got like branches around her head or something on her head. And it kind of goes in that direction. It was a little bit odd, a little bit of a strange one. Um, but that kind of incorporation with the nature and stuff, was kind of cool to look at. And there's a little bit of alteration there of the people and so forth. So that's obviously different than the vampire one. This one was a little bit more serious, and where that went. So I thought that was interesting one. Then there was one that was had a I guess was a tale about a demon or something that had been here amongst a group of friends, and I guess one of the friends was actually the demon, or had the demon inside of them, and I guess it was kind of killing this group off one by one, and then you have, I guess, the final two are sitting kind of in this bar, or this yeah, I think it was a bar or a restaurant, and they're kind of having this conversation, and then it kind of flashes back a little bit, and kind of fills you in, about the I think it was 5 or 6 people that were amongst this group, and kind of takes you to one key time there. I don't give away too much. There's a little bit of a twist in this one, but definitely ends in a fun way and has a good fight scene in it. So if you're looking for a kind of big fight scene, that's kind of it. There's a little bit of blood and guts and craziness in that one as well. And I don't want to bore you guys. Like I said, I really don't want to go into each and every one. So just kind of swing it back to the traveler. You're gonna find out where his story goes, and you're gonna find out a very they kind of play it off very dramatic when the person who's coming for the traveler comes. He's obviously in a police station, so you've seen it before, and there's another movie that as it was playing off, I was kind of thinking of, and I believe it was also on Shudder, who also had a shootout kind of in a police station. This one obviously went a little bit further and a bigger scene. I think the other one was a little bit briefer. I'm picturing the movie, but I can't remember the name. But I think we've seen it probably in several other movies. But you're gonna kind of get a crazy shootout kind of thing in this police station. So you do get a little bit of blood spilled and so forth. So that that I'm all in favor of that. So we have a good time there, and then you're gonna find out a little bit where the traveler is, and what is what's his big deal there, and what's his big deal with this person that's looking for him. So that's it's good to see at least a good attempt for a wrap-up story there. I know sometimes the wrap-up stories, they work well. Sometimes the others are a little, don't really make a lot of sense. Even with some of the VHS series, sometimes, that connection of them, besides them just watching the tape, they're always, the whole thing is that they're watching the tape. But, sometimes there's a little bit more of a story to that, and I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and, I don't know. Just seems odd that they're always just, hey, we're just going to watch this tape or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, so, it works okay here. So, overall, I'm not going to say they were the most amazing short films, and, I don't think they were, terrible either. With this kind of thing, like I said, even with the VHS series, whenever there's an anthology like this, everybody kind of, I like that one, I didn't like that one, I like that one. So, really at the end of the day, that's for you guys to determine. You're going to watch, these shorts, and kind of say, I like that one, I didn't like that one, and so forth. Once you guys do, feel free in the comment section, social media, hit me up and be like, oh, that's the one that I liked, that's the one I didn't like, and so forth. And we can have that kind of discussion. But I think the ones that I kind of pointed out were the 3 that I kind of liked. Like I said, the vampire one was probably my favorite one. But like I said, it's a good mixture. There's blood and guts and so forth throughout this whole thing. So I had fun with that as well. I compare it to kind of VHS, but I don't want to give it a rating based on that, or whether this was better or that's better. You guys have followed me for a while now, or seen my other VHS reviews. You kind of know my feelings on that. Positive, in case you're wondering, but you kind of know. So I and kind of wrapping it up and giving it a pools of blood score, I don't want to compare it to that. I want to kind of leave it on its own. I'd say, I want to say that my expectations were probably a little bit higher. I probably got, like I said, kind of got wrapped up in the whole name and the fun of the name and so forth. So that probably raised my expectations a little bit. But I'm not going to say that I was blown away. Uh, and kind of looking at the reviews, I kind of thought that it seemed to be, a lot positive, but then I kind of saw that, kind of like I'm saying, that people liked certain ones and didn't like certain other ones. So it was kind of just okay for them. So, I might be tilted in going with um, that three pools of blood out of five. I'm not super blown away by the whole thing, but there's still some solid work within here and some solid work within the film. So again, once you see it and see the films and the short films in it, feel free to point those things out and which ones you guys liked, and then we can kind of maybe expand on some of the things here. So with that, again, three pools of blood out of five. And horrorsquarereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Of course, tons of video ones lately, so if you're just hanging around for the videos, feel free to like and subscribe like everybody else is doing and everybody else wants you to do. But if not, no worries. It is truly okay, but I thank you for any time you have spent here. A reminder to check out the shorts, trying to have some fun there. And, give you guys some information as well, courtesy of Promote Horror, depending on, what I'm sharing. But Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Again, feel free to reach out to me there. We can talk about this movie, other movies, something you want me to review, anything horror related. Feel free. And obviously in the comment section, again, if you want to talk about this movie or have something from your review, feel free to do so there. I try to respond as quickly as possible. So many places to respond to people, it's crazy. But yeah, with that, again, three pools of blood out of five, and I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.